You see it everywhere, right? EVs are absolutely booming. They're all over our roads. But for all the incredible progress, there's still this one little friction point, the plug. So what if the entire idea of charging your car just went away? What if it just happened, silently in the background? Okay, let's get into it. So let's just dive right into the heart of what everyone talks about, the EV charging problem. I mean, when you really boil it all down, is the simple physical chore of plugging in your car what's holding EVs back from feeling truly 100% effortless? Because when you start to actually list out all the little annoyances, they really add up fast. You've got all these different charging standards. You've got that little voice in your head called range anxiety. There's the simple daily chore of just remembering to plug the thing in. And then there's the total lottery of trying to find a public station that isn't broken or already has a line. It's a bunch of small headaches that together create one big one. But what if we could just wipe all of that friction away in one clean sweep? Well, that brings us to a wireless answer. This vision comes from Alex Grusin. He's the CEO of a company called WiTricity, which actually spun out of MIT way back in 2007. And their goal isn't just to make charging more convenient, it's to make it so seamless it becomes completely invisible, something you literally never have to think about again. Okay, so this is where it starts to sound like science fiction. How on earth does this actually work? How do you beam enough power to charge an entire car right through the air? First thing you have to know, this is not like the wireless charger you have for your phone. That little pad uses induction and it needs to be perfectly lined up and really close to work. This is magnetic resonance, a totally different animal. It's super efficient over a distance, it's forgiving if you don't park perfectly straight, and it's built for serious high-power transfer. And the way it works is, honestly, it's kind of beautiful. The best analogy is pushing a kid on a swing, right? You don't need one giant, massive shove. You just need small, perfectly timed pushes to get that swing going higher and higher. That's resonance. The charging pad on the ground and the receiver on your car are tuned to the exact same frequency, about 85 kilohertz, so that energy just leaps between them super efficiently, just like those perfectly timed pushes on the swing. But okay, I know the first question that popped into your head. We're sending all these kilowatts through the air. Surely a lot of that power just gets lost, right? Well, this might actually surprise you. The grid-to-battery efficiency is between 90 and 93%. So let's be absolutely crystal clear on this. There is no compromise. That's right on par with, and sometimes even better than, a good level 2 plug-in charger. Going wireless doesn't mean you sacrifice performance, period. And of course, that leads directly to the second big question. Is it safe? We're talking about a lot of energy here. The best way to think about it is something you might already have in your kitchen, an induction cooktop. The physics are really similar. The energy isn't just radiating out all over the place, it's contained in a low-frequency magnetic field that's right there between the two pads. It's totally safe for people, for pets, for anything nearby. It meets all the exact same global safety standards. Okay, so this all sounds great in a lab, but let's talk about moving from theory to reality, because this stuff is already happening. BMW actually had a pilot program for this on the road way back in 2018. But the really critical thing, the absolute game changer, is that the industry has since agreed on a global standard. It's called SAA J2954, and that is huge. It means any car from any brand can use any charger. And with that standard locked in, you're now seeing the big players, Honda, Nissan, a ton of others, actively building this out. Okay, so far this has all been about convenience. But this is where the story pivots and becomes something truly transformative. We're moving beyond just making our lives easier and into unlocking the entire autonomous future. Because just think about it for a second. How can a car be truly self-driving if it needs a person to run out and plug it in? It can't. A self-driving car must be a self-charging car. For autonomy, wireless isn't a cool feature, it's an absolute necessity. And once you have that in place, it creates this incredible cascade of new possibilities. You get auto valet, where your car just parks itself and starts charging. You have robo-taxis that power snack between rides, so they never have to go offline. Imagine taxi lines at the airport where every single car is charging as it inches forward. And the holy grail, dynamic highway charging, where your car is literally getting power as you drive down the road. And the revolution doesn't even stop there. What if we could flip the switch and have your car power your life? This is the big idea behind vehicle-to-grid, or V2G, using your car's battery to support the power grid when demand is high. The problem with V2G right now is just human behavior. If our car is already charged, most of us don't bother to plug it back in. Wireless charging completely solves that problem because your car is always parked on its charger, it's always connected and available to the grid. It turns V2G from a cool idea into a reliable, automated system. It's a total game changer. So, where are we on the road ahead? If the tech works, the standard is set. What's the final piece of the puzzle to make this an everyday reality? Well, here's the quick status check. The core technology? It's done. It's mature. Standardization? Achieved. Check. The last major hurdle is cost. Right now, it's a premium option, but the whole goal is to drive that cost down until parking and charging are just the same thing for every EV out there. And all of this really pushes us to question a habit that's a century old, the gas station model. This idea that you have to make a special trip somewhere to refuel is just a holdover from combustion engines. It's not some fundamental law of how cars have to work. And that really leads to the final question we should all be thinking about. If your car charges itself every single time you park, if its energy is just managed in the background without you ever giving it a second thought, what does fueling up even mean anymore? The whole concept just disappears.